It's the Somebody Show! Oh, it's the Somebody Show!
RJ's gonna hate that.
I know. Well, so this is the Somebody Show, by the way, and I'm Chris. This is Sean.
Hi.
And so, can I explain to you why I just introduced it like that?
Please.
And I didn't dance like I usually do.
No.
Because I'm trying to be a little more low key.
Okay.
Because our friend told us that he hates me on the show. But he didn't even say like I don't like it. He said I hate you on the show.
I hate it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's the Somebody Show. The reason I open the show with that all the time is because of the Muppet Show.
Okay.
Do you know the old Muppet Show?
I know of it.
It's the Muppet Show.
Right.
Dun, 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 right. All right. And so it was subconscious. I didn't make that choice purposely because I'm not that smart, and I would never do something like that. But I love the Muppet Show.
Okay.
And I would like our show to eventually be like a tenth of what the Muppet Show was.
I think we'd be doing okay if that was the case.
Yeah. And ideally, if we really get there to a tenth of the Muppet Show, I'd like to do an episode where it's like close up, super close up, like it's the Somebody Show, and you zoom out, and my head is like in the middle of the O for the somebody or one of those, right?
That would be. That's
and
a
then
lot.
you come out in like a thong bikini or something dancing.
Done.
All right?
I'm already wearing it. So.
We'll get like Muppets made of each other.
Okay.
And then it'll just be two Muppets talking. So,
Done.
Anyway, this is the Somebody Show. And you probably knew that already. And I always say this is a show where anybody can be somebody, but I won't say it anymore because that seems to, over
See,
the
I
top.
think you should dig in.
Really? Hey, this is a show where anybody
Way
can
over
be
the
somebody.
top.
Yeah.
And more Kierkegaard.
Kierkegaard. We did get some comments that people hate.
Cringeworthy was the word.
Cringeworthy on the Kierkegaard stuff. So we hear you. We are definitely going to do a lot more Kierkegaard because this show is not for you fuckers. Like, we're doing this show for ourselves. I don't know how much I have to say that anymore, but it's not really like I don't know. I am a failed actor that doesn't have anything else to do. So
this is just the people tell me, and I then funnel it down to you, and that's where it heads.
I like it. All right, so we have Sean has a new segment for the show today.
I got something. I came up with a new segment. Chris always kind of starts a story and then goes, "I'll tell you that story later." So I came up with Chris Elwood, Chris E's True Hollywood Stories. So we're going to finally get some of these stories that you've kind of half started and never finished, and then possibly even if you make some up again, because I don't know how.
I will only ever tell the truth on this show.
Okay. So
you have my promise.
So Chris E's True Hollywood Stories, and he's going to do a lot of editing magic and make that look.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be like a lot of production value that goes into these music, and like we'll hire some actors to reenact them someday.
Okay.
So we were talking about this before the show, and I think there was a Christopher Walken story that I kind of had started to.
There's a Christopher Walken story. I believe there's a Matt and Ben story. There's many stories. I'm sure there's even more that you could tell, but anything you want to share.
So the Christopher Walken story is one of my favorite ones, and I love Christopher Walken as an actor, and I used to do a really bad impersonation of him, which I will do.
I think you should.
In this story retelling. But a friend of mine did a movie with Rory Cochrane, also very good actor, Mallrats and a lot of other stuff.
Empire Records.
Was he in Mallrats?
Slater song, yeah.
Oh, Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe he's on the FBI show.
This isn't about Rory Cochrane, guys.
I'm just saying, the guy's way more accomplished than you are.
Exactly. Yeah. So Rory did this movie with my friend Dave, and Christopher Walken was in the movie with him. So they're out shooting a location by a big lake, and everyone's taking lunch. And Rory and some of the other actors decided to go sit by the lake. They're like, "Oh, it's a beautiful vista. Let's go sit and eat, lunch out here." So they're eating lunch, and all of a sudden they see Christopher Walken walk up. And he starts taking his clothes off.
Okay.
I was like, all right, there's Christopher Walken taking his clothes off right now. That's interesting. And gets down to his boxers, or I don't know, tighty whities, whatever he had on. What do you think he had on? Let's guess.
He seems like a tighty whitey kind of guy. He's old school, right?
Yeah, tighty whities. We want to paint.
Oh, you don't actually know the answer.
Yeah, no, but I want I want to paint.
So this is not technically
an old
true Hollywood
dance
story.
man. I'm sure he's got.
I will only ever tell the truth as best I know.
In hindsight, I think he's probably a leopard print kind of.
Okay, let's go. Okay, leopard print. We've changed your mind's eye now from tidy whities to leopard print. All right, so he's now in his leopard print skivvies, and he starts walking out into the water.
Okay.
Everyone's like, all right, we're going for a swim. And keeps walking. Gradually gets up to about his eyes in depth. And then he stays there for half an hour in the water, up to his eyes, occasionally coming up to breathe and down to his eyes. After 30 minutes of lunch, you hear the assistant AD, hey, lunchtime's over, everyone come back to work, whatever they say. And he starts coming out of the water. Everyone had to wait to see what was happening. And so he comes out of the water, he looks over at his fellow actors, he goes, I don't know what it's like to be a hippopotamus. And that is a true Hollywood story.
That's it.
As best I know. So
I like it.
Right?
Yeah, I mean,
It's a long-winded story too.
I like
Ate up a lot of film. We're filming on this. We made it look like we're shooting on iPhones, but these are actually 35 Panavision 35 millimeter cameras that we're
yeah,
shooting
were
on.
they $15,000 a pop?
$100,000 each these cameras. Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. We raised $1,200
Was there
on
a
Kickstarter.
Was there a Kickstarter I didn't know about?
You, me, and Matt all took out second mortgages to buy 3 cameras each. So we're leveraged pretty hardcore now into the show.
We're dug in. Well, speaking of that,
yeah.
don't we have to get?
Oh, we have to pay the bills. We have to go to commercial, and we have a guest. Do you know we have a guest today?
Okay, but there was also a thing you said. And we got to tell the people the YouTube that we have to get
We're going to
to
say
a
that for
certain-
the close.
Okay.
I changed the
Well,
notes. I screwed it up. Why, do you want to do it now?
No.
Okay,
I
let's do it
already
close.
run the show.
Yeah, well, I'm the host and I make the rules, so you just sit there and look pretty.
Yeah.
All right. We want to get to our guest?
Absolutely.
I think you're very handsome, by the way.
Thank you.
I don't know if have I ever told you
You've
that?
said that multiple times. I'm almost uncomfortable. It's gotten to a level where
You're
it's
uncomfortable. That's what we want.
Yeah, I mean Harvey.
Matt's an
Harvey
ugly son of a
wants
bitch,
that.
but you happen to be
Start calling you Harvey.
my thing. We are sitting on the couch.
Yes.
All right. So let's get to our guest. We have a guest today.
Well, we probably have to take a commercial break.
Yeah,
I
no,
guess.
we're going to do a commercial break, but I'm just saying, I want to prep everyone after the commercial break that
There
we're
is
not
a
just going to
guest.
come back and do this crap again.
No.
We're going to come back and actually talk to somebody.
Okay.
So, I don't know, how am I doing? Am I smoldering a little bit more? Am I being a little less over the top?
I don't know. Why. I mean,
I don't
again,
know
we'll
why I
have to
keep looking
wait.
at this camera.
We'll have to
you're
wait
not
for,
sweating. That's what.
Oh yeah, no, that's the other thing. It's winter now in PA, right? So now we're not like it's probably
not
like
100 degrees.
43 degrees in this garage now.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have heaters now instead of
We do.
fans.
Yeah.
So.
It's we never get like a nice
Leaf blowers and lawnmowers.
Yeah,
going.
cars
Yeah.
driving by. Yeah. It's part of the aesthetic of the show.
Yes.
Anyway, we have a guest that's sitting over here. It's like, okay, I changed my mind. I don't want to do this anymore. So let's get him out here before he really just walks out.
Yeah.
We will be right back with the Somebody Show. We're back from commercial. I think I may have put a commercial in that I was in.
That would be excellent.
Yeah, I did commercials. I was good enough as an actor to do a few commercials in my time.
But not
Not good enough to do a lot of commercials.
Okay.
And not good enough to not be sitting here.
like
right
you
now.
weren't Flo from Progressive. Like that. That's
All right.
That's the money.
That's
maker, right?
another. That's another Chris E. story.
Okay.
Right. I didn't audition for Flo. I'm not saying
Okay.
audition
No, no,
for Flo,
no.
but I have multiple instances of this is going to be that one.
You could have been
And
Jake
then-
from State Farm, or
Right. Yeah. There were 2 different campaigns that I was
Okay.
like.
So,
Anyway, we have the show is for us, not for the somebody, but we have to pretend that it is. So we have a guest. He's our somebody. We're going to welcome him to the stage right now. You're going to love him. He's the best guest we've ever had.
probably our tallest guest we've ever had.
We're going to see. We're definitely going to see. Please welcome to the Somebody Show, Steve Black.
Hey, how you doing?
Appreciate
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Welcome, man.
How are you?
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having
Oh,
me.
this
Thank
is
you.
fantastic.
All right.
Steve Black.
Yes.
In the
indeed,
house.
Indeed, I'm here. I'm
Looking
here.
better than Sean and I could ever hope to look. I mean, you look like a real person. Like,
I feel like a real person
This is
today.
not like we've had some really good guests on the show. I don't want to take anything away from any of you. Not that do you think any of the previous people that have been on the show watch other episodes other than themselves?
No, they check out.
They barely watch their own episode.
Yeah.
We'll get to that at the end of the show. We'll talk about that. But Steve, thank you for coming. I
Great
said
to be
that
here.
already.
Great to be here. Thank you.
So I we're going to get into this real quick.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We're not going to waste any time.
I don't think we
We're
should.
going right away.
Yes,
We're
I
learning
want-
from past mistakes.
Well, hey, I want to be somebody. So
You
let's-
are
I want-
already.
The sooner we get there, the better.
Already, you are. And I don't know if I told you about this, but we don't have them yet. But we talked about on one of our previous episodes. We're getting T-shirts made now. So you will be the proud owner of a T-shirt that no one else in the world will have until people start bootlegging them. Somebody for life. You are now somebody for life. Yeah. No
love
matter
it.
what anyone tells you, you're somebody for life.
I love it.
I'm going to guess your height and weight.
I think that's good.
All right. So it's a new thing we're going to do because I feel like it's all about somebody. It's
Yes.
not about Sean and I. It's about you guys. So I want to know a little bit about you, and I want to know your height and your weight first.
Of course.
I'm going to guess 6'7", 130 pounds.
It's a little off.
Okay. All right.
Little
So
off.
you tell us if you were open to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Height and weight.
6'3", 215.
Oh, so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's close. I was like within hundreds of pounds.
I guess you were never a
Inches?
carny. You were never one of those carnivores.
Hey, separate up. We're gonna get
Guess their
your
age.
weight. No, I was for a day, and I got fired immediately because all the prizes.
Sounds all right.
were
It's
given
like
away.
story of your life.
story of my life. 8 seconds.
Ooh.
Don't want to get there. All right, so we got height and weight. So let's talk a little bit. So you apparently you wanted to be the president of the United States. Is that correct? We don't get political on
It's
this show.
my mom's fault.
Oh, okay.
It's my mom, when I was growing up, she kind of just told the three of us, my older brother and younger brother, that we could be anything we wanted to be in the world. And I just, looked as, identify with the highest figure I could.
Sure.
I was like the president of the United States.
Yeah.
So, well, I think that's where I should set my goals. So that's what I wanted to be.
And this was a goal of yours up until a couple months ago, or what was the?
No, it was like really in my youth, and
Okay.
then it quickly evaporated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What year
Okay.
did you graduate law school?
Never, yeah, right, yeah, never, yeah.
Is that a prerequisite? Have all the presidents been lawyers?
I believe you have to have
A law degree?
been law schooled.
I know you have to be
All
40.
but one, anyway.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yes.
We don't get political on this show.
All right.
But,
Yeah.
so that's awesome. President of the United States, and then also marine biologist was another thing you kind of had
Yes,
aspiration.
yes.
Were there specific animals, seals or
Look,
grills,
whales,
lobsters?
whales.
But did you identify with one particular animal? Like you were like, that's what I really want to know about that.
I think the whale.
Whale.
I,
Okay.
I think the blue whale or
Blue
the orca
whale.
whale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're close in age, and I
Yeah.
think blue whales for some reason, like I was obsessed with blue whales as a
Yes.
kid. Like they make a big deal about blue whales when we were kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Were they
like-
endangered at any point?
Well, I think it was like saving the oceans was like and,
it's
and
true,
deforestation were like two
Okay.
big huge things. And,
Yeah.
and the whale with its sound and its
Wow. That's literally. Well, I think I just heard or read somewhere. I didn't read it. I definitely didn't read it. Someone, I didn't read it anywhere. I heard somewhere that whales actually help with carbon dioxide. Like they somehow are helpful for the environment with the alleged
All right. Yeah.
things that happen that we're not going to talk about, like political stuff. But yeah, they're good for the environment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I believe it. I saw that Star Trek movie. No.
I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Trek? I thought
So-
you liked Star Trek.
5? Return home, or
Yeah. What was it? So you got Star Trek 1, they
Voyage
go out,
Home or
the
something?
Voyager. Yeah. Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan.
okay.
Star Trek 3, I think it was.
Okay.
It was 3. Yeah. So Star Trek 3. Star Trek 3. They have to go back in time
Okay.
to get whales, humpback whales specifically. Yeah.
maybe that was the whale.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. No, I was definitely blue whale.
Blue, yeah.
I think the Star Trek thing made humpbacks more,
Star Trek's done a lot underneath the surface
they have
to
changed.
elevate.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that next segment, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. All right, so kites. You like kites?
I like flying kites. Yes, I like flying.
Mary
kites.
Poppins, like the movie Mary Poppins. Do you
I
like the song?
Yeah, my
That
wife
song-
Sarah sings all those songs, and I love it. The kids love it.
It makes me
It's
happy
great.
every time I hear that song.
I know.
Every time I can't sing it right now because we're on YouTube, but I would love to sing. I love that song. Go listen to "Let's Go Fly a Kite" from the Mary Poppins soundtrack as soon as you can. It'll just make you smile.
Absolutely.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
It will make you smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna listen to it after the show. You
And the
favorite
Sound of Music has another good.
Sound of Music?
Lot of
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good-
yeah.
A lot of really good
Yeah.
jingles.
There's also some sad music in that one too, like some really like poignant, like really make you
Nazis
think.
in that, right?
All right, political stuff, man.
yeah.
Come on.
Wow.
God, I keep
Really?
Can we give him like a cue card or something? Like what not to say? Seriously. Like, yeah. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
What is that thing? The Hayflick limit? No, that's not it. I just made something. And I think there is something called the Hayflick limit. But there's something on the internet when like how long it takes to devolve into Nazis, like being called Nazis, like something about that, right? There's an actual psychiatric, like,
Okay.
or not again psychiatric, but there's something. Again, back to Steven.
Yes.
Steve Black. So you like vacationing in the Caribbean?
Yes. Yeah. Like I'm like an aqueous. Like the water
Okay.
a lot. I'm a Pisces.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And but yeah, anything with the water, sunshine, and I'm there.
Do you have a favorite area in the? Do you say Caribbean or Caribbean?
I say Caribbean.
I say Caribbean as well.
Do people say Caribbean?
I say Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think in my head what it would be, and I was like, I think it's Caribbean.
Where am I getting Caribbean from?
I think
From the
it's
Pirates, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
yeah.
Disney.
Disney.
Yes.
The mouse says it.
What a great franchise that is.
That is a good
Yes.
movie. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Were you in
But my
that?
favorite would be Antigua, where
Antigua,
we
okay.
had our honey. Sarah and I had our honeymoon there.
Okay.
And it just draws a lot of. The environment is exactly what I'd want, and then who I was with and what we were doing
Yeah.
there is just fabulous.
My wife and I get in an argument all the time about the most beautiful places we've ever been, because obviously they're beautiful places. But I love the Caribbean because I like the water,
Yep.
and she likes Hawaii because of the scenery. But like the water in the Caribbean, there's just you cannot get better. Like crystal clear, like it's
beautiful.
A lot shorter of a plane flight too.
that helps. That like I like
deal.
that. Unless when we were living in LA, and
Right.
it's still
Yeah.
probably about the same.
One thing I like flying into the Bahamas.
Okay.
Is you just see all these like Cessnas in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, the drug trade. I'm like, that's what they were doing. I'm like, you never know it's true. And then like you fly in and you're like, oh wow, it actually was a real deal.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
Well, so Miles. So this is another thing. Steven and I have boys that are the same age, and they've been in school together since childcare, since they were like 2 years old.
Yeah.
But Miles asked me the other day. My son asked me about the Bermuda Triangle. And he's like, Dad, is the Bermuda Triangle a real thing? I'm like, yes, it's a real thing. There's an actual area on the globe, the Earth, that is a Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, but what about like all the planes and boats that have disappeared? I'm like, yes, planes and boats have disappeared. I'm like trying not to like scare him and like because I don't believe.
Wonder
him.
if Pete knows anything about that.
Yeah, we should talk about it.
Yeah, ask Pete.
One of our last episodes, we had a guy that's a big conspiracy theorist, so I'm sure that he would have had something to say about the Bermuda. Or he would have been like, nah, it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Like, that's what I love.
That's where Godzilla lives.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not a Bermuda. It's like Godzilla lives there.
It's not about that. It's about the ancient aliens were. But yeah, that is funny. Like flying in and seeing all the stuff. I don't think I've ever witnessed that, but that's
they're
great to
there.
see. That's awesome. That's awesome. Make for some good scuba diving excursions.
Maybe you might find us something.
Yeah, something special. real special.
$100 grand going on vacation. You know?
So, is there? Oh, this is a new thing we're going to try this episode. I think we're going to pick this up, and hopefully it works. So you're our guinea pig.
Okay, great.
And if you suck at it, then we're going to blame you from all the other episodes. And we're going to say, that's Steve Black. He ruined our somebody show idea.
Got it.
Is that okay?
Yes,
All right.
let's
good.
go.
Scapegoat. All right. So, guinea pig, scapegoat, and good guinea pig. That's kind of that's a good thing. You.
I'm a
maybe-
first in.
Yeah, maybe
I'm
on the
ready.
T-shirt we'll say somebody for life. First guinea pig. So
Love it. I like it, yeah.
So, epochs throughout life. I think
Yes.
that's the right word to use. Epochs. All right.
Yes.
So, 10 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old. Right. Like you're definitely you're the same person, but things change so much between decades. Right.
Yeah.
So 10 years old, probably rat tail. 20 years old, mullet. And then, or
I had an older brother.
Okay. Oh.
His name's Don.
Don.
Is
Don.
Don. Don.
Is Don.
And he had really long hair. He started smoking at 12.
All right.
And so he showed me what not to do. And so with the fact that he had the long hair,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna have the rat mullet. I'm like, he's got the whole hair thing going, and then the fact that he was smoking, he's like, I'm not gonna smoke.
Yeah.
So he just
showed the way what
showed
not
me
to do.
what not to do.
Yes,
yeah.
alright.
Yeah, and I really love him for that because it's huge value.
That's
It's
great.
like
That is so great.
it's just as valuable as knowing where to go
Yeah.
is where not to go.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Very
You
true.
know?
That's why I don't have 3 kids right now.
Yeah.
I saw how my sister had 3 kids and Rachel's sister had 3 kids, and I know you have more kids than I do.
Yeah,
but
right.
I literally saw what it was like to have 3 kids. I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want to do that. It's great for other people, but I don't want that. My sister's happy. My sister-in-law's happy. I think all of them are happy, but I did not want that. So yeah, you see what you don't want in other people sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So 10 years old.
10 years. So give me a story from when you were
10 years old. So that goes back to wanting to be the president.
Okay.
I grew up in a healthy house, and my mom just inspired us to all, dream big and work hard to achieve. And I wanted to be the president, and it was just a really the world's mine kind of mentality.
Yeah.
And really cherish her giving us that optimism
Okay.
and that encouragement to just go and be and do as much as you can.
Yeah.
And always having support of a parent.
Yeah.
So that was 10.
What was that like?
It was great. It was
Sean
great.
did not-
I don't think
Sean
there's
had a very horrible upbringing, so we won't
Yeah.
get into that. This is not
Yeah.
the Sean show. This
Sean
is the
knows what it's not like.
yeah. Going back to that.
And so I want to dig into the president thing just a little bit more because
Yeah.
so you're 10 and you want to be the president. To what end? Were you really like studying to be the president, or was it just a fleeting thought? I want to be president.
Honestly, I just thought I was right about pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And so like I was like, why not? Do you want to be? No.
No, say.
It's like literally just a visual or like just a position of like.
So is this Reagan? Is this, because I'm thinking like movie star, maybe it's part like that.
It's probably Reagan.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we're the same age, so 85.
Yeah, so that's probably more impressionable because before that, with like Ford and Carter, like I wouldn't be there. So like,
Right.
Yeah, so like Reagan was like,
Yeah.
you know, riding around on horses, an
Right.
actor.
An actor, like I mean, I could
like,
see
he was
how
like
you could.
he went to technical college, so it was like, hey, he can do
Right,
it,
you
you
could-
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when I was 10 around that time, I wanted to be an archaeologist and like Indiana Jones. But I literally went to the library
Digging
looking,
up giant bones, right?
Did I mention that in the last episode or no? Okay. All right. I didn't want to dig up giant bones, but I did. Like I was like trying to study to be an archaeologist at 10. Like my buddy and I, we would like go into like our little crappy Catholic school library and look for like things that no one else had found. Like we're looking through books that like everyone else has read in the world. I'm like, ooh, we're gonna find the secrets to the, we're gonna find the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if you like had like started, like Matt said, started, or you
But
said
I
started
just kept my
studying.
nose clean.
Okay.
Like,
That was
literally
it.
just, yeah.
And that is really the
That's
secret,
literally
right?
it. I was like, just don't get in trouble.
Yeah, don't inhale.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't exactly.
So your brother was smoking at 12. How much older is he?
He's 3 years older than me.
Okay, so he was smoking, so you were trying not to inhale what he was smoking at the
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I would like be his cover.
Yeah.
He'd be like, hey, go in there and like just keep mom occupied and we'll sneak out from the side.
Go
I'm
poop
like,
your
okay.
pants. Go in there and poop your pants. So the mom has to change your 10-year-old diaper or 10-year-old underpants. You weren't pooping your pants at 10.
No,
Okay.
I was very.
That's not very
I came
presidential.
very early.
Yeah, I was still pooping my pants at 10. So 20 years old. you
20
were
years old, reality just boom, right in my face.
Not going to be president.
Yeah, I was the first one in my family to go to college, to graduate college, to be a college athlete.
Really?
And it was really, really tough.
Wow.
And so I was humbled by that, and so the dream of 10 and being president,
Yeah.
which was like way up high, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
20, like you're mature in your reality and you're carving your own way.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, it's a long way from here.
Yeah.
And so I had to face that, and my 20s were very tough.
Oh, okay.
Really tough. I was like like I said, I was the first one in college for my family, graduate, student athlete, and I worked.
Yeah.
I was part of a fraternity,
wow.
and I was like just checking boxes
Yeah,
and working
yeah.
and doing as much as I could. It was just really, really tough.
Yeah.
But a lot of good lessons in there.
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
good
yeah,
lessons
absolutely,
in that.
yeah.
So that was more of a humbling, good balance to my dreams of 10.
Right.
Yeah.
People talk about formative years being what, like 3 to 10 or something like that. Like there's that early, like people are like, oh, these are the formative years. You have to make sure that you know. Blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah, right.
yeah.
And I think
I'm
there's
actually reading a book about that right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Flourish by Dr. Sigmund.
Okay.
He's a university professor. He's like really a leader and pioneer in positive psychiatry.
Oh, wow.
Psychiatry.
Yeah.
And it just teaches. He has a chapter on like raising children.
Okay.
And it's like, hey, how you talk to them, how like what they hear.
Yeah.
And all that stuff is like really, really important and
Yeah.
impressionable on them. But to your point, yeah, absolutely, it's really impressionable time.
Yeah, well, but I think now in modern times, like the 20s might be like also a very like a secondary formative time in life, right? Where you like there's like, because I remember being in my 20s, like it was like you just change so much. Like you said, life hits you in the face at that point because everyone's moving out of the house for the most part. I mean, not now maybe, but when we were turning 20, everyone's still moving out. Versus generations prior, like when you're 20, you're married and probably have at least one kid already, if not two, and you're like working the farm, like you're growing corn, But when we were 20, like it was like, oh my God, well, I have to grow up now, and I didn't learn that until like last week, I don't think. Yeah. So, but all right, so 30 years old.
30. Things started to get good.
Yeah.
So I had a rebirth of like
Okay.
the work that I put in my 20s
Yeah.
was worth it.
Yeah.
And I kind of like was able to then marry my, optimism of my youth with the reality of my 20s
Yeah.
and the hard work and things pay off. And then I really just started to embrace that like things are possible.
Okay.
They're not easy.
Okay.
You have to work,
Yeah.
and you have to, you have to find people who will support you,
Yeah.
and you have to contribute to other people's lives,
Yeah.
So like all this stuff really started to come out I started to personally identify with and like really own like
The cards that you were dealt, the life that you're living.
like like the entire comprehension or the composition of my life
Yeah,
like started
yeah.
to really solidify then, and then so 30s was like a rebirth.
Awesome.
You know, like things were possible.
So I think I have to work on my transitions between the 10, 20, and 30 probably, because this is the first time I'm doing it. But I do want to say I just had an idea why you were talking, because I wasn't listening to while you were talking.
Yeah, good. That's why I had a
But I'd like to have you back in 30 years, because I want to do a 40, 50, and 60.
Great.
Would you do that? Will you commit to
I
that?
love that.
30 years from now, we're going to be sitting here in this garage, and we're going to talk about you at 50, or at 40, 50, and 60. All right?
Great, yes.
And who knows? Like maybe, I've gotten into this scuffle a bit before, but I think indefinite lifespans are definitely possible through medicine and science. I fully believe that, and we'll talk about that next segment, because I think
That's
you've got
good.
something there, right?
That's good. Yeah, definitely.
But who the fuck knows? We may just push that another 30 years, and we'll come back and we'll talk about 70, 80, 90, and then we'll just keep it going, man.
You're gonna need a new sidekick.
Are you gonna die? You're gonna die? on me?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
you don't have to die.
You are pretty unhealthy.
I don't know that.
You don't have to
You're not
die.
healthy fucker.
Yeah, man,
He's
There are
unhealthy.
animals
Yeah.
that do not die.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
There are, and
C.
so
elegans. The worm, C. elegans.
Yeah.
Is that an animal or an insect?
Yeah.
They're all animals. It's the animal kingdom. It's comprised of the branches. They're all animals. We are animals. No one wants to admit that. We are animals.
We are.
Human beings are animals. We are part of this animal kingdom. Save the planet. Sorry.
Yes.
Political. All right. So, Steve, we're going to go to commercial now.
Good.
And it's going to be some either old commercial or it might be a commercial with me in it. Yeah, we'll see. I started to decide I'm going to start peppering in commercials that I dig because I'm an actor. I think I've told you guys that already.
Yeah.
So we're going to
Wait,
commercial.
what?
We'll be right back. Please don't leave. You don't want to leave, do you?
Not at all.
Oh, yes, we got him. Hooked him. Another somebody is part of the cult. We're trying to start a cult here. Did I tell you?
Everybody
Did you know
is
that?
somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Everybody is somebody.
Yeah. We said in the Kickstarter video, I think there's something like 7.5 billion people on the planet right now
Yes.
in that range, right? And I Googled this, so it must be true. There's about 600,000 famous people, according to how what that metric, how they determine fame. So we've got quite a few people to interview.
I got an idea for our name. Nexium.
Nexium.
Yeah.
Is that political?
Yeah.
What's Nexium mean?
I don't know. There's somebody a cult just got busted for that. Was the guy that it was branding?
Oh, there's a real cult called Nexium, and you want to change our name to Nexium.
Yeah.
I
You
thought it
think
was
we're
like
gonna get more YouTube?
cryptocurrency or something.
Yeah, I was gonna buy in. Like, how much you need? $10. I got $10. Give me $10 worth of Nexium.
This is a heartburn medication. No,
Dude, we need to get.
I think you're right.
I think you're right.
I think you are right.
we're sponsored by Nexium.
But it took out the chick was in the Superman show. She was like branding other chicks for this guy, and it was just a whole cult. It was pretty awesome.
Like branding
I mean,
them like
it was like
like
sex-
marketing.
It was
no,
a sex
like
cult, yeah.
burning them
Burning them
in
with-
their privates
Get
with
out.
this guy's initials. Is that the kind of cult we're doing, right?
Yeah, but we still need to talk about that.
Oh.
Specifics. That's good.
All right.
We're gonna go to commercial. Bye. We'll be back.
Relieve the heartburn, heal the damage. It's possible with today's purple pill called Nexium.
We're back at the Somebody Show. Steve Black. Steve. Thank you for staying. You said you wanted to stay. I wasn't convinced, so we thought like you were.
He didn't get up. He didn't try to
He's
get-
just so well dressed today. Like and my other guests, again, you guys were all great, but you look so good today that I was like, he's not going to stick around. He's going to be like, I'm way better than this show. Like, I should not be here right now. So I'm really happy that you came back after the commercial. How about those commercials? You guys like them? Yeah, we didn't see them because we don't.
I love the
I just edit those in after the fact. So eventually, I'm going to write it in the show notes what commercials we do, so that way we can actually make comments. Okay. My friend said we did like an old Folgers commercial. And he's like, it would have been great if you came back from the commercial and you're sipping your coffee. You know?
The tickle,
Tickle.
that was great.
Wasn't that one? I was actually
That
a little
just ridiculous.
premeditated.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. So before we left for the last commercial break, we started to talk about indefinite lifespan and animals that live indefinitely.
Yes.
And you are involved in a few things that I think could probably get us there.
I think so too.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yes. So
By the way, real quick, that was such a good segue. Like I felt
That
like
was-
a professional host just
Yeah,
then.
like-
All right, I like to give myself credit as much as I can.
Please,
All right, so
that-
you go.
you earned
please,
that one.
Please, thank you. No,
yeah,
go,
that is
go.
just more way beyond like self gratification like that.
RJ, is this too much? Am I being too much of an asshole right now? Too over the top? All right, go on, Steve.
Yeah. So my profession is I'm a healthy building expert, but what I focus on.
Now explain healthy building a little bit, because I don't know if people are going to know exactly. I know you're
Good 2x4s, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
2x4s that don't have cancer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It was way, so a healthy building is a complex environment, but at the end of the day, humans spend 90% of their time indoors.
Okay.
And there's been a flagrant absence of thought about how the indoor environment impacts human health. And so 90% of our time indoors, and undisputed from whether it's the NIH, WHO, CDC, the largest impact on human health is the physical and social environments in which we spend our time.
Sure.
More so than genetics, access to healthcare, and lifestyle behaviors combined.
Yeah.
Lifestyle behaviors could be like drug, alcohol, to
McDonald's.
unprotected sex, to
So
jumping out of
does-
airplanes. So all of those things combined, physical and social environment has the largest impact on human health.
Yeah.
And it's biological health, physical, mental, mental health, and social health.
Yeah. You talked to me about this a few years ago, and I was immediately like, yeah, I'm in. Talk to me. Like, I really want to know
It's
more
powerful.
about this.
It's powerful.
And what struck me about it was that we have, for years now, been talking about LEED certified buildings. So building standards that are set up in a way to help the environment and not be detrimental to the environment, I think, right?
Certainly.
Did I summarize that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
But the idea of the building not only being that, because you still want to have that,
Yes.
but having the reason we're building the building is for the people to be in the building.
Amen. Exactly.
So if you're going to build the building for the people to be in the building, build the building so the fucking people in the building can be healthy.
Period. Exactly.
What
so
are we
they can
doing?
thrive.
What are we doing? Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
It's-
It was
there's-
like so brilliant. I'm like, why? How is this just now?
Well, give me an example of an unhealthy building.
Okay, that's a great question.
a lot.
He's going to be our counterpoint.
Yeah, 'cause
he didn't believe in any of this
I don't
shit.
believe in anything, period.
Yeah. Well, lots of ways to take this, but
You mean like mold spores? Like all this stuff behind it?
no, like that. Well, that'd be like source control. Like what do you bring into the four walls and a roof, right?
Okay.
Like the materials in our couches, in our carpeting, in the adhesives that we use to like for caulking.
Right.
All of these things, the paints we use. You notice that they have like non-VOC paints.
Okay.
So literally, there's like over 6,500 different chemicals in your home. Whether it's like from the paint, the adhesive, to the carpets, to the petrochemicals that are embedded in, wood.
So you basically want to be the Whole
tiles.
Foods of like Home Depot. Is basically what you're trying. Like you're trying to be the organic. Is
Not a bad
just
way of
create
putting it. I mean,
a
it's a
whole-
very cynical way of putting it, but it's not a bad, like, kind of.
It's a way of like being very intentional about the spaces you create and what the people do in that space, and to sort of program it and design it so that people thrive. Right? So access to daylight.
Yes.
proper insulation. I mean, I'm trying to like
thermal
make sure
comfort.
everything's properly
The
insulated.
easiest one, I think, to that most people get right away, because we've all heard it for so long, is fluorescent lighting.
Lighting is so. A healthy building is like the International Well Building Institute, who I worked for many years, and I'm a Well AP and one of about 200 well faculty in the world. They have the well building standard, and it's 10 concepts of which you should consider when you design a building and how you operate a building.
Okay.
All right, it goes from air, water, light, nourishment, acoustic, thermal comfort, movement,
Okay.
the materials in the building, and then also community in mind.
Okay.
And so when you think about these concepts, air quality, are you having proper ventilation? Is the air moving enough? Is it being properly filtered before it goes in? Right? So all types of things around that. And then also emitting or things like the source control, like how to prevent contaminants coming into a space.
Okay.
So like if you walk into a building, it's better to have like two doors.
Vestibule.
So you don't have, and if you ever go to like Wawa, it's like no idling.
Right.
That nobody knows what that sign means.
Okay.
They're like they might think it's like because
Loitering.
They don't want the diesel truck to like make noise or something, right?
Right.
It's because there's that truck is like putting off emissions.
Okay.
And it comes into the
Right.
Wawa. But
Okay.
that's why the sign like no idling is there.
Okay.
Because outdoor contaminants are coming indoors, right?
So this has already been something that's been on people's radar to some extent in construction, not in the general public, but it's been out there for a long time. It's just we're kicking it up a notch, being like, let's just not do the worst possible stuff, like the idling. Let's make it so that it's actually like a cool place to be in that is going to make me healthier to actually be in that space.
Exactly. And everything, it's really intentional about all these things. And even you can go into like the mind category. It's really about like biophilic elements, bringing in the outdoors, nature, outdoors, indoors. So
Okay.
having plants like you have here, you know,
We just added
exactly.
these.
Add that,
This
is that
episode we just
boxwood or
added
something.
these.
You know?
Sean hasn't planted these yet, so we just decided let's put them in here.
Yeah,
It'll
no,
make it look
bringing the
nicer.
outdoor in and having access to daylight, but also
Like opening a garage door during your.
that'd be fun.
Your set.
Yeah.
Not too much outside noise.
Also
We already
culture, right? So if you're like in Arizona, maybe you have like stones and things, or a cactus, right?
Yeah.
get peyote.
Yes.
Would you add peyote to it?
Well, I would just have like a sweat den there.
Oh yeah,
You know,
sweat
like,
lodge,
as an
yeah.
amenity in a high-end office, it's like,
yeah.
what are you doing?
Well, because
You know?
Google does the nap pods.
Nap
Like I
pods,
think like some
shooting
big
ranges.
company should be like do sweat lodges
Yeah,
like, in their
no,
building.
exactly.
I need to take a
Meditation.
break. I'm gonna go jump in the sweat lodge.
Yeah, yeah.
That was my interpretation of people getting high on ayahuasca and peyote. Did I do a good job? I've never done that.
That was
anyone,
really good.
anyone
I
here
think
done
you should-
ayahuasca?
I think
or
we should have
peyote?
done it longer.
Okay.
It was really good. Yeah.
So, the
Yeah.
biophilic thing you were talking about. I was laying in bed the other night, and this was not.
By
I wasn't-
feeling yourself?
I was biophilicking myself, thank you.
Yeah.
And I wasn't thinking of Steve Black while I was lying in bed, just so you know. But I was thinking about the corners in the room. So I'm looking up, and I don't have crown molding in my bedroom. I've got it someplace in the
Really?
house. No, I don't. I
Wow.
don't. No, I don't, Sean.
surprised.
I do not. So I'm looking up at the corners. I'm like, God, we have been in. So the human being has been living indoors in these square boxes for a very short period of time throughout our evolution. If you believe in evolution, all right, Pete. I know you probably don't, but does Pete believe in evolution?
I was asking that question when you're an archaeologist. That went through my head.
Do I believe in evolution?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Oh.
get into that, but
was
not
a-
right now.
that was
That's
a
probably
question
too
I
much.
asked.
But I do. Let's just cut it short. I believe in evolution. But we've been in these boxes, living in these boxes for such a short period of time, and they're so unnatural to what we evolved in.
Exactly.
You know, and so bringing in the plants and all this stuff, like
Exactly.
it's yeah. I feel very partial
So
right
would
now
like
to this
solar
topic.
energy be like all in like is that
That's
like
more
is
leads.
it giving back or no? Okay, so that's not
But
what
But
you're
no,
moving
that's a
for.
huge component to having like a regenerative space.
Okay.
Right? Like to, the best buildings in the world address environmental sustainability and human health. Like literally, the best buildings in the world.
Who's doing it the best right now?
Is there a company?
I would say like there's a company called Heinz. Who's out
Okay.
of Houston. They are a global developer.
Ketchup?
Operator. No, HINES. They are
was gonna
truly
say, I
an
was gonna,
innovator
like,
in
guzzle ketchup
sustainability. Yeah, in performance, and they are just so passionate about engineering and their customer experience and the value that they create in the communities that they develop in, and so they really take on the burden and responsibility of developing amazing buildings that contribute to, the society or to the people or their tenants and stuff like that. So they're really, really thorough about that stuff. And I've learned a lot about that.
And the solar thing gets me to another. This is a bad segue. Just call that out because I will call out when I'm not good. All right, I call it when I'm good, but I also call it when I'm not good. There's another thing I want to talk to you about with circular economy. And,
Yes.
and the solar thing kind of starts to bridge into that, the circular economy. And I know we're getting long on our segment. And we would love to have you back if you'd be
Yeah,
willing
no,
to do
I-
somebody part 2.
Yes.
Okay, someday.
Please,
All right.
yeah.
We're starting to say that a lot to people. We're like,
Yeah.
shit, we need guests A and B. Like we're finding so many interesting people.
Right.
Like we can't do
Not
this
enough
all in
time.
22 minutes. We
Right.
have to have. I mean, Pete was an hour long
Almost
for God's
50 minutes,
sake,
yeah.
So let's touch on circular economy for now to kind of whet the
Yeah,
appetite.
absolutely. So similar to my belief, which is that the way to have the biggest impact on human health is to address the places that humans spend the most time, right?
Buildings.
And that's healthy buildings. So that's human health. For planetary health, which is an equally important, topic that we need to address.
Maybe more healthy because if you don't have a planet, you can't have buildings.
True.
Okay.
And human health
Float.
and planetary health are inextricably connected.
Right. Yes,
right.
exactly.
With a healthy planet, healthy people. Healthy.
Yeah.
So as I address healthy buildings to have global human health at scale for the environment, embracing a circular economy is what I believe is the way to have the biggest impact on planetary health.
Yeah.
To really change our linear,
Right.
make, waste economy,
Yeah.
where you extract natural resources,
Right.
you create a good, and then that good or product has a relatively
finite.
short lifetime, and then you throw it away.
Right, yeah.
Like that is very inefficient, and it's very wasteful.
Right.
And overly extractive. So with the circular economy,
And our planet doesn't work that way. I mean, everything.
does not.
Our
It
planet
does
works in
not.
a way that it's completely circular.
Precisely.
There's zero waste.
Precisely.
And I mean, there's poop, but that poop, even the
It's-
waste that animal is pooping out, is then fertilizing the
Yeah.
plants, right? And then when the animal dies out
When a
in the
leaf
street,
falls,
it becomes
to try to-
decomposes.
yeah, exactly.
And it's constantly being used. So,
Exactly,
But
exactly.
we don't do that. And you and I were talking about this a little bit before this when we talked about you being on the show. But I had listened. I didn't read. I don't read either. I just listened. Listened to a book by Kate Rayworth called Donut Economics,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really a perfect encapsulation of what the circular economy is, I think. Because if you think about the donut and how we all live inside the big, tasty part of the donut, and you got the hole, and you got everything outside of it, right? And the hole is when you start doing things economically to hurt people, you're getting into that hole, and now you're filling in that hole by hurting people. When you go outside the confines of the outside of the donut, you're hurting the planet. So it was a good illustration of how to keep your economic decisions as a company within that circular donut.
Yeah, so I think just to break down, moving away from the linear economy, but also there's a consumption. Human consumption is a really big part of it.
Yeah.
Like we overly consume.
Sure.
We're not conscientious consumers. So being able to retrain people to.
Are we too far gone?
No, we're not. We're not. I'll tell you, just as in the 40s with the World War II, there was this buy, be patriotic, stimulate the economy, the more, and then we can build tanks and fight this war. It was just focus.
Right.
Now, there was millions and millions and billions of dollars literally from governments that were advocating on this consumption, consume, then the stay-at-home mother, the head of the house. It's they used to take their milk outside. They're like, hey, no, just buy this milk from the store, and then just throw it away. It's easier, create time, make your life more, save time, right? And they literally, it was not actually embraced when they started doing that, and so. There's billions of dollars in propaganda saying we should embrace this new consumption model.
But that's also at the same time where.
And so I think similarly, there will be campaigns to say, don't buy too much. If you do buy higher quality, more durable goods, right? And so I think that is going to come.
But that gets into the circular donut idea of back in that time where don't put your milk out, buy the milk at the store. Was we say is it too late? We're very young in our economic growth as a civilization, right? And so back when that was all happening, there were economists that were kind of trying to figure out what macroeconomics were, right? And so I don't know what his name was. It was a guy that came up with the idea of infinite growth. And he was like, listen, all these companies, they're propping up. They want to make money and more money every year. They don't want to just stay the same. They want to start making more and more money. So he came up, conceptualized this idea of infinite growth, where it's a plane taking off and the economy every year throughout the world, everywhere just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I don't know if you know or anyone, but the universe is not infinite. The earth is definitely not infinite. And so it's not possible to just continue to grow. Your 3% increase you get every year when you, as an employee, you get 3%.
Yeah.
But there's an expectation every year that I'm going to get more money every year because the company has an expectation that they're going to continue to grow, and the economy as a whole has an expectation it's going to grow. And you can't have infinite growth. It's just not a thing. And so creating a new economy that has more of the circular concept and right? Am I speaking out of turn?
No, you're on the right path. But so if that company is creating that product, there should be a life cycle assessment saying if I create this and I extract and I create and I sell it, there should be an infrastructure for them to either have it repaired, for it to be resold and reused by somebody else, or for it to be recycled.
Or components extracted.
So it continue its life. Right. So it's more durable and extend the value of that original purchase. And I'll tell you that by incorporating reuse and repair and resale, you actually create a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
You create a lot of jobs, and you do not extract as many resources primarily.
Stephen Black for president, everybody. Stephen Black for president.
Yeah.
See how we got right? Came right
know.
full
I love
circle.
the way
That's
you did
awesome.
that.
Yeah, circular.
Exactly.
So we are going to have you back if you will agree to do it.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean like the 30 year thing from now. Like I'd like to have you back sooner.
I'd love to be
So
back.
initially I was thinking we'll wait 30 years, but you've such good stuff that I think we got to get back into some more stuff.
I hopefully did a good job today, but there's a lot of
You're
good stuff.
okay. You're okay. I mean, you'll get better next
You
time.
definitely didn't win the show. I'll tell you that.
I'll
Well,
dress
we'll get
better
into that.
next
We'll
time.
get into that. Yeah. Somebody always wins the show, but just between Sean and I, we'll I like your T-shirt, by the way, Sean.
That's a shout out to.
I know who it's a shout out to.
The next host of the
I
Somebody
know
Show,
who it's a
hopefully.
shout out to.
I like this guy.
Steve, like I said, it was awesome. And I didn't mean to cut you off so quickly, but I just thought that was a great, Steve President, right? It worked.
Yeah, it was great.
Will you come back?
I want to. This has been.
You should ask him one more
phenomenal.
time.
Will you please
Can I
come
ask
back?
you a question? I will come back.
Everyone always wants to ask me questions.
Am I somebody now?
You are somebody for
Technically,
life. Somebody for life. Here, I have a T-shirt for you right here. I'm gonna edit this in later. Like I'll do like a super cool special effect where I'm holding a T-shirt and I'm handing it to you, and then you take it. Just pretend to take it. Yeah. Okay. You pretend to take it.
Better acting than
All right,
Chris has
hold on.
ever done.
Now pretend to put it on.
No, now you're getting.
All right. Too much.
I don't even know if I put it on right.
Yeah, I don't know. That seemed weird.
One of my favorite.
It's all backwards.
Yeah.
One of my favorite punked episodes I ever did was we had to pretend. See, they made it about me again. I had to pretend to. I was a director, an assistant director for a new Spider-Man movie, and we had Jesse what's his
Ventura?
name? No, I wish that would have been awesome. The guy who was on Desperate Housewives. Anyway,
I
we
know
put him in
you're
a unitard and strapped him in this big thing, and I had him, do all these be a Spider-Man villain. I was like, flick your tongue away. And it was really fun.
Do you watch
So-
Impractical Jokers?
I've seen some of it, and those guys are brilliant.
They're great.
They're really funny.
They're really
yeah.
Sean watches Impractical Jerkers.
Yeah.
So
I'm
how,
not a
how do
fan
you
of those guys.
practically jerk? I think, let's break that down.
No, we won't go
For
there.
another show.
Let's just not go there.
Steven, thank you, man.
Thank you for having
High
us.
five.
That was awesome. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You. We're gonna freeze frame on that probably.
Thank you.
Right, we finish
Really
it.
had fun. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
When did you start baking from scratch?
It's not scratch, Mom. It's new Pillsbury Plus.
A yellow cake this firm could only be from scratch.
It's Pillsbury Plus.
A cake this moist could only be from scratch. A cake this rich could only be from scratch.
It's Pillsbury Plus. The plus is pudding. Pudding right in the mix to add that moistness.
Rich flavor. New Pillsbury Plus, huh? Looks like scratch has met its match.
We're back on the Somebody Show. That was awesome. Steve was great. I mean, I know I say it as I don't say it as a joke, but I've decided that's gonna be my thing. I'm gonna introduce everyone as the best guest ever. But it does seem like
He seemed really smart.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
My brain turned off. Like the last 7 minutes of that interview.
Yeah.
If you watch on camera, I don't even think I was. It's just what?
Yeah, I'm gonna freeze frame on your face. So there's gonna be a lot of freeze frames this episode. You're just, super close up. I'm gonna
You guys are way too smart for me with all that stuff.
No,
I'm just going to keep reusing shit and throwing it on the ground.
Yeah,
and,
good.
Whatever.
Well, speaking
right into the ocean.
Speaking of which, advertisement. Don't you have an ad?
I do. I have an ad. It's
An on-air read. We call this.
should I hold the thing?
Oh yeah. Let's do
So
it.
this is one of his
seems break-
samples.
this seems
is,
breakable.
Gardener's Glass. Gardners glass.
You told me
how
that
to
was
spell
candy.
that, right?
You told me that was candy.
That's
I
glass.
tried.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's a glass blower. It's my buddy.
Can you make it into candy?
He might.
Okay, can you make that into
We
candy?
can ask. We can
Mike?
ask Dennis.
Mike's his name?
Dennis.
Dennis, can
or
you make
Mike.
that? Can you make this into candy?
But he doesn't even know I'm doing this. But we were just like, oh, let's do a real ad actually for once. And he has a little Etsy page.
Okay.
Etsy.com/shop/Gardener's Glass. He
Okay.
does like pumpkins and there's like bowls and stuff. He's really talented. And I think my old lady won that at an event maybe 2 years ago now. But he does like a bunch of stuff, and he's
What kind of bowls?
All right.
yes.
More importantly, do you know what book this is sitting on right now?
I can't read the.
Oh, this is Kierkegaard.
Kierkegaard. Is
Oh,
it
my God.
Kierkegaard?
Kierkegaard. Look, it's sitting right on the Kierkegaard book.
I love that guy.
Should we read some Kierkegaard?
I think that's why the pumpkin's there. It's there.
it's to hold
it's
it
to hold
down.
it there so you don't pick it up. Because if you break that, I would get in trouble.
Well, Mike, I love your glass blowing. It's the
Or
good
Dennis.
stuff. Dennis, I like your glass blowing. It's good stuff. I actually went on my honeymoon. Was it honeymoon? No, it was on a vacation.
With-
Rachel and I
with
took
Mike?
To, not with Dennis.
Dennis.
We went to Italy and Murano. I think is that Murano glass? Steve might know. Steve, is it Murano glass? From Italy, Murano. Yeah. Famous glass blowing island off it's a little island next to Venice, and they were talking about how it's a dying trade. Like no one does it anymore except for weirdos like your friend.
Yeah.
So that's great. I love it. Keep making the glass, and if you want to make it into candy, I'll eat it.
Okay.
So we're going to wrap up the show here, but I had something to bring up. Sean and I don't give a shit about making money on this show, obviously, but I did find out recently, and you would think I would have looked into this before we started doing a YouTube show, but I didn't. But I was looking around and I saw that we need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watched.
So we need
in order to
1,000 more
qualify.
subscribers
No,
than
no,
we have.
no. We have subscribers already.
Basically.
We have subscribers. I'm going to get into that.
Yeah.
But just to even start like being qualified to make money on YouTube, to monetize this, we need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watched.
Okay.
So we have approximately 45 subscribers right now. Subscribers. I feel like I mumble a lot. You guys notice that I mumble? Yeah, I need to stop. I start talking like this. Is that better?
RJ's gonna love that. I think I'm reframing this whole episode for one person that doesn't even watch. It's amazing.
And he won't watch this one.
He will not.
I'll tell him that we referenced him
Even though
multiple
he
times.
did
still
better,
won't
yeah,
watch it
exactly.
because he hates me. And we need 1,000 hours, 4,000 hours watched. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're asking you to do us a favor. Thanksgiving's coming up. Matt brought this to my attention. For Thanksgiving, you got all these people coming to your house. You're going to someone else's house. When you go, you don't have to tell them about the show. You don't have to tell them to watch the show. What you do have to do is you have to get their phones, go to YouTube, download the app if they don't have it, subscribe to our show on their phone. And then, if you want to, this is extra credit, push play on one of the episodes and just put it back in their purse or set it down wherever it was, face down. Because if you face it up, they're going to see it playing.
The smart TV in their bedroom, go into their bedroom.
Yep, turn the
their
volume
TV
down.
on.
Turn the volume down. And at the very least, it's not extra credit. You just watch, not watch, push play on your smart TV or your phone.
While
your
you're at your
PlayStation,
grandparents' house.
At your grandparents,
When
whatever.
when you leave the house, every time you leave the house,
And just play the video. You don't have to watch the video. We have an average of 7 minutes watched of our half an hour, hour long. An average of 7 minutes being watched.
that's pretty impressive. Think
Or
about it.
not. So just push play and don't watch it. You don't have to stop the video.
I might be dragging our average down. Just
Oh, is it you, Matt? Okay, so that makes sense now. All right.
Yeah.
in fairness, I see it live, so
That's true. Yeah. So I already saw this. It's so much different edited, though, don't you think?
it is.
There's a lot more swearing when I edit it. I add curse words in for the kids. So that's going to do it for the show tonight.
Is that it?
I think that's all we're going to do.
Okay.
We're joking about the subscriber thing. We don't care about making money. But if you want to do it, it'd be funny.
So I wonder what.
We'll share the money with all of you. Is that okay? Can we say that? We'll share it. No, we're not. Matt says we're not going to share the money. Okay. This is all ours.
This might have been your best episode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about who won the episode.
I
Thank
still
you.
won.
That's true. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I think.
You did. I was close though. Steve even said
It was
he
closer.
It was like you got like did you kick a field goal at the end or or did you get like a penalty shot at the end?
So I guess whatever reference you want to use. It
Yeah,
was
well,
a
you're
buzzer
hockey
beater.
or football
Yeah,
buzzer beater.
buzzer
Okay.
beater,
All
yeah.
right. So you won on the buzzer.
I did.
All right.
Exactly.
Or to really hit home here in Philadelphia.
Or did I win, or did you just lose? Could we just say that you lost the episode?
Yeah.
That's probably more than likely.
That's probably it. Good night, everybody. Somebody show.
See ya.